Hello.
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 Guys, hope you're all well. This is not Monday.
Today is Friday.
Don't be confused with it being a Monday.
Don't let us confuse you, but it is Friday.
First order of business. We have a new microphone that we are going to try for the lives. We think it will help centralize the sound.
For the headphone
For the
user.
headphone wearers out there, we have not been ignoring your comments. We absolutely have not.
We've been internalizing it and we've done it. So let us know if this sounds better. If it sounds worse, that's fine as well. Tell us. The other mics are here if it's an emergency and this sounds like crap. But it looks fine. Levels look fine. The studio's pretty quiet in here, so let us know. And hopefully it's good.
Let us know, indeed. Matty boy.
Hello.
Matty lad.
What's going on?
Missed you.
I know, me too.
So Monday morning,
Yes.
So we were all scheduled to come in for our full week of filming as it was, and I woke up with a Quasimodo eye.
Poor guy.
I had a reaction to something. We were planning our first filming session with Rob Coates,
That's right. Rob, by the way, sorry.
the cursed
Poor guy.
contest winner.
He took it well, though. He took it well.
So
But you were unfortunately allergic to a fateful glass of wine.
a glass of red wine, and the eye came out like a bug. So I was up at 6 a.m.
Crazy.
A bag of peas on it, could not get it to go down. Didn't go down till really pretty much the next day. So
I mean, I've spent the whole week allergic to my own brain, so I mean, everyone's got their own issues. But you know what? Here we are.
Here
we are. A few
We're,
days later, feeling better.
we're showing up. That's the most
is good.
important thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So what's been going on? The boys were in. That was nice to see.
Yeah, we're just doing
Little
some
staff
little training,
reorientation.
for the staff, get them back into it. We're moving in the right direction for reopening, hopefully very, very soon.
Hopefully very, very soon.
Drew saying Pixar, it didn't happen. Drew, trust me. You
sure
do not
you-
need to see this.
You've probably seen that.
I was
a few
nearly
times.
walking about like Captain Jack with
boy.
an old eye patch on. No, Mick, no sympathy from me. No sympathy from me. It was
That's funny.
Yeah, not at all.
It happens.
It does. So yeah, it was good to have the crew back in. Good to see them. Yeah, we're getting there. We're moving ever closer.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
It does.
Feels that way.
It does. Slowly.
You guys were doing some Quintic work.
Yeah, doing some Quintic training.
Good.
Always good to sharpen up the tools a little bit. And like even we were just saying while we were going through it, you know, there are parts of the calibration of it that's quite finicky, and the boys were saying, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm glad we're doing this now rather than when we're one-on-one with a client." And
Especially when people are going to be coming in the door, they've been cooped up for a year.
Yeah.
They can't wait for this. Yeah, the last thing you want is to be like, "Oh, sorry, sir, I'm just going to work on this for 10 minutes." Well, that's great.
yeah, so it was good. Obviously, last day we done fittings in here was November 21st, so they've not seen any of the 2021 product.
That's right.
None of the new Callaway stuff, none of the new TaylorMade stuff. No.
Some reactions?
Yeah, it was-
Anything interesting?
I think we're probably going to get them to hit some stuff,
Good.
later on, see what they think. But
Good.
yeah, it's just everyone's just excited to be back.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very glad to hear that. There was a buzz in here. It was nice to have.
I know.
What else can we talk about? How much time are we going to spend talking about what happened at the memorial on the weekend? It's going to make me so mad, so maybe we shouldn't talk about it for too long.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure
I
people
know.
are going to ask. I can't imagine no one's going to ask. I will say something before we talk about that. The course they're playing this week, this Palmetto Championship, have you seen this?
What's the course called again? The
Something with a C. Someone will tell
know,
us.
yeah.
Anyway, it looks really cool. Like, we got to go there when we go.
Carolinas is a
We have to go there.
Yeah.
I like the look of it. Just sort of the sandy areas and those tall pine trees. It's a good looking
I
course.
love golf in the Carolinas.
Looks very quintessentially Carolinas.
Yeah, Berkeley Hall is somewhere I've spent a little bit of time.
That's the one, buddy.
Congreve, yeah, that's right. Berkeley Hall is somewhere I've spent a little bit of time. The two Fazio courses there. I think it's the north and south. Brilliant. I just love Carolina style.
Berkeley
style golf.
Hall.
Berkeley Hall.
I think Fazio did this course too.
Is that right? Amazing place. Just outside Hilton Head, on the kind of way out towards.
It's just all in the
Hilton
same
Head.
neighborhood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this looks like a real. Oh,
It's amazing.
hello.
It's amazing.
Look at this clubhouse, very sort of English style, isn't it?
It is. And
Hello. Oh,
oh,
for you.
hello,
A crocodile.
Ali G.
We don't want to see that guy.
No. So Berkeley Hall is in Bluffton, exactly right,
Bluffton.
Dave. Bluffton, South Carolina.
Very
yeah,
cool.
great spot. So much good golf down there.
Oh.
Really good spots.
Lindsay was at her conference for work in High Point, North Carolina, and she met the owner of a course in the village of Pinehurst, not actually Pinehurst, called. This is somewhere you and I are going to be golfing, apparently.
Very soon, if we keep moving in this
We
direction.
have an invitation. I'm extending it to you as well. You should come. Actually, you know what? I'll never find it, but I'll when I remember it, I'll say it next week. But anyway, another course in the village of Pinehurst. They're doing a ton of like renovations and new clubhouse and stuff. So it's just funny how
wonder
small
if
the
that's
world
where
is.
Victor's not a member of Pinehurst, but he's a member of a course forest something or other.
Lindsay will text me if she's listening to this and tell me what the name of it is. I can't remember it, but it looks like a great place. But they're doing some improvements. But just like
it's a little golf mecca.
We could be down there for a month.
I
think we should be down there for a month. I might need to move down there.
We won't need too much persuasion.
Nope.
There was some chat. Where did I see it? A little putter shaft. Kind of spat was going on. I saw it.
Was it? Oh, is that this here?
Yeah, Fuji versus LGP on Instagram.
Were the gloves on?
The gloves.
Bare knuckle?
It was getting that way.
Really?
It was getting that way.
Official accounts?
Like
really
outing people. I'll show you. I saw it. I think it
this.
was last night. I think I saw it.
Speaking of fights, did you watch that Gong Show on the weekend?
No.
What a great. The first. I don't know if anyone watched it. The first round was
it went
too
from
funny.
here basically. So LAGP shaft versus the new Fuji line.
Okay.
And then basically went on to show and the frequency of how much stiffer the new Fuji one is than the LAGP one, and
basically they were exposing the wall thickness and stuff.
And they were going at each other on it.
Really?
Yeah. They were literally like just going back and forth like, oh, you guys think yours is the stiffest, ours is the stiffest.
A real blank measuring contest is what it sounds like to me. Mine is the stiffest.
Mine's the stiffest. No, mine's the stiffest.
Okay, well that's pretty funny. People are a little cooped up, eh? Like, people are really just looking for a fight these days. They're just looking for anything to fight about. That's funny.
Alrighty. Let's get into the questions, my boy.
Speaking of putter shafts, Mikey posted that new white stability shaft. That looks cool. Fancy. Sexy looking thing.
I know. I think it's interesting because their approach seemed to be around going obviously a bit stiffer with the first one, and now they're pulling away from the stiffness,
which is interesting.
Which
I don't mind. So I've still been putting with mine, obviously, and people continue to ask me if I haven't played with them, and rightfully so, because it looks weird. Like, what is that thing? But the more I putt with it, I almost think like I like it, but I kind of wouldn't mind it if it had a little bit more kind of give to it. Like, I putted around with that Scotty for a while. And I think most of what I liked about it was just the fact that the shaft had a bit of play to it. But I get the science of it. Like, that's the part of it. So maybe this will be kind of the middle ground, the happy medium.
So funny. Mr. Travis Mark is trying to get you going. He's trying to just tee one up for you just to knock it out the park. Matt, Memorial, go.
What do you think first? I want to hear what you think first. Because I could go all day. I want to hear what you think first.
I think it was inevitable that it was going to happen at some point, that there was going to be a controversial pullout.
I agree.
I thought that was always going to happen. I think in the circumstances, the amount of false positives and things like that are out there. I mean, you've cost the guy $1.6 million.
And that's just the one guy. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's caddy.
There's
a ripple effect around it. There's no doubt about it. The way they dealt with it was wrong. And I just think they made a mess of the whole thing. I mean, his face. Now, he had to still go win the tournament.
Yeah,
we get that.
Fair enough. He didn't win. I get that part.
Yeah,
of it.
6. It's not like he walked off the 18th green at the end of the 4th round and they told him.
That's, by the way, your round doesn't count.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. You're right about that.
But it's just another page in the mess that is.
And honestly, that's where I would go with it.
Yeah,
I'm just so sick of this nonsense. Like, I'm just so sick of it. And what I'm more sick of is, like, listen, I think John Rahm, good for him. I'm sure the statement was a little on the forced side that he had to make, and he probably had to be reserved, and his manager probably had to coach him and be like, don't say what you're probably really thinking. What is really pissing me off is the effect it's having on the public. Like, people don't want to see this stuff anymore. Like, you're removing people's joy. They like watching golf. That's their hope. They like to see people achieve great things, and it's Jack Nicklaus's tournament. And it's just continuously crushing people with this crap, and it's just not necessary. And it's also, they made no effort to solve the issue. They just went, he's out of there, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that's the part of it that just really disappoints me. I also hate that, like, now Patrick Cantlay, every time he's going to get asked about it,
Sure.
Oh, Patrick, great win.
But
how do you feel about John's losing? It's just like, come on, like, enough.
A couple of the boys there, Joe and Robert, saying, about the vaccinated part, if he was vaccinated.
I don't know that that's the solution, though, because, well, anyone who's Canadian can tell you, a lot of people up here are vaccinated, and a lot of people are still getting positive tests here and there, and it's still making them lose work time and isolation time. So, but I don't know.
Joe's saying there, vaccinated players don't get tested, aren't subject to testing on the tour anymore.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither. So I mean,
the vaccination thing is a bit.
If I was a player, I mean,
I think
unless you have serious concerns about it.
But it's fair enough. I mean, it's still supposed to be a free country. He's supposed to be able to choose whether he does it. I get that part of it. I think I'm just disappointed in the fact that it occurred. I don't know. It's hard to know who to get mad at. It's just like, I'm just so sick of this stuff happening.
I think that's what it is.
That's what I texted you. I'm just like, dude, I can't stand this stuff anymore. Like, I can't stand reading it. It's so disappointing.
Yeah. Right, let's draw a line in, because we're heading into vaccination.
No more
territory
vaccine
here,
stuff.
and this and that. Let's
get back to golf.
Move away from COVID in the chat.
I knew
for a while.
I knew it would be no good. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the start because there's lots of golf stuff going on. Dave is saying,
what's going on, Dave?
Oh, this is good.
Dave Mack.
So Dave said he took out his new. Ooh, that's a nice set. So ZX4s and a ZX5 combo set.
Underrated combo set.
I was just gonna say, I've not heard anyone say that yet.
Underrated combo set.
So the 4s, the hollow cavity and the longest irons, and
Yep.
the 5s maybe starting at like the 7. Mm-hmm. And he shot his personal best 85. I mean, it doesn't
Love
get much
that.
better than that, Dave. There you go.
Yeah, and Dave was coming out a good set of Mizunos that were good for him, but that ZX4 and 5 is
That's awesome.
is a really underrated set. We obviously know how good the 5s and 7s are, but the 4s and 5s are beauties.
That's awesome. Yeah, maybe we'll see that kind of trend a little bit in the next little while. Grab that really quick because I wanted to ask you about that mini driver.
S Mills, TaylorMade's 300 mini driver has landed in the USG Conforming List. Any plans on testing this in the future?
Of course.
We always do.
We will never not.
We always do. I think obviously...
You got high hopes for it, I'm sure. What did you say the last time? You're like, I don't even know why they make these things.
Just make the mini driver go away. And then what happens? Phil comes out and wins with it and sticks it right down my throat. So
he's a unique individual, though.
He is a unique individual. Yeah. We've tried it. I mean, the mini... what was it? The last one called? It was called
Original One.
The original one.
That
was the one you and I hit. And then we done a few episodes with Ronnie.
Ronnie tried it. Yeah. We were just having a hard time. We both said, like, who the hell is this for?
Well, at the end of Ronnie's fit, I remember we ended up just fitting him better to a driver.
It was a ping or something.
And it went way further, way straighter, and it was just like. I personally think that if you're going if you're going towards a mini driver, you need to refit for a driver.
Yeah, totally. I think it's nostalgia, or a bit of fun, or you have a psychological block looking at a driver head. If not, look elsewhere.
Yeah.
But we'll test it. You know we will.
Yeah.
We're not going to test it. I promise.
Exactly.
All right, to you.
Best used iron sets to look for with a budget of $500.
That's a great question.
That's a really good question.
How many years back would you go?
A good little.
That's a great video.
Good little video.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, best iron set for 500 or less. I mean, so how long have we've been doing the channel now for 3 and a bit years? Every year we've talked about how much we like the Strixon irons.
That's a great one.
765, 785, 565. I would say, and because they're not one of the big 4 names, the resale value is a little bit less because of that. It's not Callaway, TaylorMade, Ping, that sort of thing. So I think you could probably head towards a really nice set of forged Strixons that are bendable, so if somebody else had them upright, you can easily move them flat without compromising the clubs themselves. I would probably go there.
I think that's a great idea. We should definitely do a video on that.
Yeah, it'd be good, eh?
Yeah, I love that idea.
It would be good.
You cannot go wrong. I play with a guy who's got 765s, and those are only 3 seasons old. I bet you could buy a set of those for $500 Canadian in great condition.
Definitely. Your buddy bought a set off me. set of
and
SCs.
those Mizunos.
Yeah, I mean that was about that
About
kind
$400 or
of-
$500.
about that price, and that's a great set of irons.
MP 18 SC.
SCs. Yeah.
Two good choices.
Yep. Okay, Tyler is asking driver fitting at a local shop. He has a 115 to 120 club speed. Shop has 1 or 2 X-Flex shafts for each manufacturer. Should I hit the other profiles in S-Flex? What should I be aware of when hitting some softer flexes? Tyler, I wouldn't bother about the S-Flexes, pal. You're too quick. Shaft is going to be lighter. It's going to be softer. I don't think that's going to do you any good. I would go there and see what you get out of trying those X-Flex shafts if you find one that you like. If not, you might need to go somewhere with a more extensive list of X-Flex shafts to try.
Love it. Sorry, I was trying to put that up on the screen, but for whatever reason,
It was a fairly new one.
What's going on with the refresh? over here?
Fairly close to the bottom.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We'll keep going.
Okay.
I just wanted to put it up for people to read.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. Do you think golf manufacturers need to have a longer release cycle than once a year? Now,
I mean,
not all of them have
some
once a
do.
year.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like some do. You'll see TaylorMade annually. You'll see Callaway annually. You'll see Titleist irons every 2 years. Woods every 2 years. I mean, I like their cycle. You know, every year is a new iron. Every year is a new iron, and then the following one is a wood. I think that's good.
Yeah, you still get a new product,
Yeah.
but it's not the replacement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, extends the life cycle a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be 2 years. I really don't. I just think people need to worry less about their equipment being
Out of date.
1 year old, 2
That's a great
years
idea.
old. It genuinely doesn't matter.
No.
Once you get 3 to 5 years, past the line, I think obviously it matters more then because technology's moved a little bit. But
Totally.
year to year, just don't worry about it. Worry more about being appropriately fit for the right equipment, and then just kind of tune out to the everything that's new.
Because that's the part of it. It's just people having like buyer's remorse. Like, I don't want to have an outdated piece of equipment. But I mean, it's a reality. It's like when I bought this computer, it was the hot thing of the year. It's completely like obsolete now.
Yeah,
But that's
I
just
know.
the way it goes.
And how many times have we been filming and saw like such incremental gains year on year?
course.
The marketing claims are going to be what they're going to be. I mean, they've got to move the needle in terms of interest and sales. It's a business.
It's a
Everyone's
business.
trying to run a business, and they're going to talk about the new tech and how much better it was than last year. Sure, but year to year, it moves very, very small.
Yes, well said. From John. John is playing an Even Flow T1100 White. Noticed it's discontinued. Okay, didn't know that. He's looking for a recommendation of a similar profile. He loves his U510 from Mikey from the TXG store. Lovely.
Very cool.
Okay, so a T1100 White, which is now Gonzo. What else can John look for?
So a little higher balance point with the
Okay.
T1100. So I'd be looking, John, into things like Tensei Orange potentially. You could look at AV Raw Orange. You could look at those types of shafts. So T1100 is the white. It was pretty stiff. I'd be curious if you liked that shaft, John. That was one that I think the reason it's discontinued is it didn't do very well.
that's a good
it kind of
point.
bombed
That's
a
a
little
good
bit.
point.
The silver T1100 was really popular on tour. Tons of guys used that.
Okay.
Whatever they changed about it and modified it to make it the Even Flow White, it just didn't work for them
They
at all.
junked it up a bit.
Yeah, they kind
Interesting.
of lost the secret sauce in that one a little bit. Let me make sure I'm not missing anyone. Your shaft would be a really good one as well, the Fujikura
Fuji.
Pro Tour spec. John, the white and black one that Matt uses, the
Allow me to show him.
little tour spec, that would be really, really nice. Probably value-wise, this would probably be where I would take you.
Smashing.
Smashing.
It also looks lovely.
Yeah. Grab a little try of one of those two, Tensei Orange or Fuji Pro Tour spec.
Smashing. It's a good quick one here. What swing speed wise? I know there's other factors, but generally, where do you look to put someone in an X-Flex shaft? Maybe the iron swing speed and the driver swing speed.
So if you are kind of 90 miles an hour or higher, I'd be starting to look at it with irons.
Okay.
And about 108 and higher, starting to look
In
at
driver.
it. Yeah, in driver.
Trackman-ish numbers.
Trackman-ish. So Trackman is slightly slower. So I'd be probably looking about 10. Same in the irons because the measurement of club speed on irons in quad and Trackman is almost identical because of the CG position. But With woods, about 106 on
106
TrackMan
on
is where
TrackMan.
I'm starting to look at it.
Sweet.
Few other things to be considered, such as tempo, load style, head mass. If the heavier head weights, I can go a little bit stiffer in the shaft, knowing that the head weight's going to deflect the shaft a little bit more. So there is a little bit of nuance to it when someone's on that cusp, but
Good
about
general
those
advice.
speeds. Yeah.
And a lovely segue, if you need a little bit of further advice into those nuances, is an online fit.
Yes.
Which Kev received from Dean. So Dean, who is pretty much doing all your virtual fits
He's
right
doing
now.
all of them. Yeah, he is
Fantastic.
Mr. Virtual Fit.
I love it. So Dean sourced him a heavier front weight screw for his Sim 2,
Brilliant. I
added
love
it to
that.
his, made a huge difference to his numbers, less spin, more yards.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Guys, I mean,
Great to hear.
with the virtual fit, for those of you who are not going to get the chance to come to TXG, even when the border opens and we can travel freely again, say you're, just too far away, the budget won't stretch to it, this and that. The $40 value in that virtual fit first I hate to call it anything other than some kind of common sense advice, but that's what you'll get. You'll get a 30-minute consultation to talk about whatever you want with our guys, and that can lead towards a purchase. That can just be, okay, how do I set my bag up? I'm having 3-wood issues and wedge issues. Let's talk about your game. Let's get to know you a little bit better. If you can share some data, share some videos, some swings of yourself, all of that can be provided. And I keep seeing it, people's feedback, like Kev's here, saying that how much it was beneficial for him.
Which is great. No, it's honestly, every time we've done live since you started doing it, I see it like 4 or 5 times.
It's really great.
It's great. Dean is doing a hell of a job, clearly.
Really, really well.
We haven't grabbed this yet here. Billy. Billy says he needs a 50-degree wedge to solve some gapping issues.
Most people do.
Yep. Should I match it to my standard Vokey wedge flex or to the S300 in his MC's irons, I'm assuming? Good question.
Really good
Great
question,
question.
Billy. I would be more likely to go with the shaft that is in your irons on that one. It's more of a full swing club, Billy, more of a full shot club. You're not going to be pitching too much with that one, so I would go with matching to the irons.
Fantastic. All right, to you there, lad, if you got something ready.
Yep. Jaime is saying so he's got G400 max, 10.5, negative angle of attack. From our recent loft video, what other forward CG driver heads do we recommend? TSI3 ? Yes, TSI3. I wouldn't say it's the most forward in terms of the CG position. I think I've probably seen the lowest spin rates this year from Callaway, the Max LS.
Okay, yeah.
The Epic,
More so than
Max
Sim.
LS and Sim 2. That's
So either
both
or
of
kind of
those two
Would that vary based on your strike point kind of thing? Which one ends up being?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep, absolutely. But those two will tend to be a little bit lower spinning, little flatter than TSI even.
Sweet. Yeah. I mean, the reason I play that TSI is that it isn't that low spin because
Definitely.
I can't tolerate low spin.
Yeah.
Or my driver swing goes to poop.
Nay good.
We'll grab this one here because I know I missed it earlier. Good question here. Does cutting your driver shaft make the driver imbalanced? Good question. 5'10" for handicapper. Would the standard shaft work? So, say it comes at 45 inches, you take a bit of length off it.
Yep.
You are lightening the swing weight. Is that
You're
right?
lightening the swing weight. So if you say you go, I want to play a 44-inch driver, and you reduce it by that 1 inch, you're changing the swing weight by 6 points.
6 points.
6
Wow. Okay.
points.
That's a
So
lot.
you need 12 grams back into the head
in order to make
in
that
order
work.
to make it back to the starting point on swing weight.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that would be the way to, yes, you can do what we're looking to do here, but put those 12 grams back in or it's
Yeah.
going to feel awfully light, I guess,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Yep.
Perfect. Good question. And I'm assuming, yes, you can use the shaft that's in there, but as you said, you need to either use adjustable weights that would come with the head or, worst case, some hot melt, rat glue, whatever you want to call it.
Sebastian's got a question there about the full force,
Oh.
the full face wedges. I'll just grab them.
Sebastian, you're going to receive a gander at them. Let me put Sebastian's questions up. Sebastian is asking, what do you make of the new Zipcore full face and the trend in general? I saw a little teaser of a Callaway something or other as well.
There's some new Callaway wedges coming.
So Sebastian, here it is for your viewing pleasure. He's basically saying, what do you think of this trend of these full face wedges and who do you think they fit best? What kind of player do you think they fit best? Great question. Fantastic question.
So obviously,
There it is.
There's the boy.
Full face.
Yeah, so
It's the best looking full face one I've seen so
yeah,
far.
it's good.
Because it looks like a normal wedge shape.
It's got a little more offset in there than I like to see. Just a fraction. I think it has a little bit more than the normal.
Well, more than zip cores, because the
Yeah.
zip cores are so nice.
So I think they're nice. I think they're good. I think Cleveland make a great wedge. I don't like it for anything other than the most lofted wedge in my bag because
that's
I'm
fair.
never really coming across it. I'm typically neutral enough, and if you are neutral enough with your path and face angle, you don't really need those score lines extended to the toe. It's really only when you have a lot of you're open in the face and you're maybe hitting a lot of bunker shots and you see that little impact mark on grass way out in the toe.
You almost missed the club. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get that
yeah.
quite often.
And I do as well.
Yeah.
I absolutely do as well. So I see value in it for those for those kind of impact locations. Other than that, I just think a standard face is absolutely
I think that's
fine.
totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So
Yeah, lots more of them coming. I think we'll see that Callaway one have an official release soon. I think some of those teaser accounts or leak accounts on Instagram have somehow gotten their hands on them. But there's a lot coming. Okay. This is a shaft question for you. Tensi CK White Non-Pro versus Rogue Silver 110 versus Hazardous RDX Black in a Sim 2. What are your thoughts?
Um,
The CK Non-Pro seems like an odd choice to throw in with those other two.
yeah,
no?
so I'm trying to give you kind of like the somewhat of the profile. So I don't know anything about your JMac. I don't know anything about your swing. So I'll just try and give you a little bit about them. I'd say the Rogue Silver, generally speaking, the Rogue is a slightly higher balance point, fairly stiff shaft. The 110 MSI is a measurement of the sort of quality or sort of the tensile stiffness of the graphite that they use in there. So it's pretty good stuff. 110 MSI is pretty good stuff. It's a pretty high quality shaft. I'd probably say that would be my favorite of those three.
Okay.
I'd probably go RDX Black. Then I'd go to CK White is pretty soft.
Yeah.
The non-white version has the boron removed from it and is not quite as stable as the original version. So
You want that boron.
you want the boron in
If
there.
you're an X-Flex person, you're probably looking for that.
There's a reason it's in there, And again, I don't know who you are as a swinger, so you might be a pretty smooth, tempoed X-Flex player. You might use a lighter head weight. All those things that are kind of the variables where I could lead you to one or the other for a specific reason, but obviously that's difficult in this
Yeah,
environment.
no, I think you gave him some great information. Let's grab this one here from DJ. DJ says his fiance just started golfing. That sounds great. She's using his old clubs with S300 iron shafts. Should she get new clubs with Ladies Flex to take lessons or do lessons with the clubs? Those clubs.
Really good question.
Yeah, good question.
Because that's a very common scenario, I think, isn't it?
Oh, totally, dude. Totally.
that
I made
people
Lindsay.
do that.
I bought
Yeah.
Lindsay clubs and they were steel shafts. And then after I started working with you, I went, "Oh man, I really did her dirty with that. That was not helpful at all."
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think get her some clubs to learn with. If the equipment is going to hinder the learning process and make them develop bad habits, or sort of, make her development slower, go with the equipment first, then learn around the equipment. If the equipment is fine, learn the technique, then adapt to the equipment afterwards. It just depends how bad the equipment is to start with, and I think your fiance's probably the shafts are twice as heavy as they need to be for, maybe 65 grams would probably be fine.
Love it. Yeah, find yourself a good deal. Worst case, you can buy her something else later. Like, they don't have to be the best clubs in the world, but
Tomboy's question at the bottom there.
I'll grab that right now.
Tomboy, where have you been? Have you been?
They seem to be quite good from what we've discovered recently.
There was a wee thing called the bracket.
which it almost won.
Which it almost won. Which had 8 of the best drivers.
And one of my buddies comes up to me, he's like, "Are you going to play that tourist driver?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't think so, but I could. I certainly could.
Yeah.
I definitely could."
But you're more likely to play the Mizuno than you are the Tour Edge, since it beat the Tour Edge. But you wouldn't have a good reason to play the Tour Edge at this point.
No, but anyone who hasn't looked at that club or wants something really good at a price that's extremely competitive, I would take a long, hard look at them.
I find it funny when people go, "Oh, why does Matt change his driver so much? Why does Matt change the shaft so much?"
Because there's a camera sitting there looking at me. That's why.
And it's free.
It's free and it's fun.
And he can.
I wouldn't be buying this stuff. It makes good videos.
Exactly. Like when the video was when the channel was in its infancy, we done a fit for you, and the best iron in the drawer for you was a set of PXGs.
I remember that.
We reached out to PXG, and they went, "Sure, we'll give you $5 off a head."
It might as well have been 10 cents.
It was basically no discount whatsoever.
No.
Your reaction was,
"All right,
no thanks.
yeah, I'm okay.
I'm good."
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the privileged position that we find ourselves in. Being in the industry, doing what we do, it is what it is,
We never intend for like my experience with clubs or your experience with clubs to be what we recommend. We do it for example's sake so that you can learn something from the video. And then, yes, the other part of it is we do have access to it. I do get spoiled, and you get spoiled by manufacturers. If they, like Vokies, obviously, they're going to send me some Vokies. Very nice of them.
They want you to play their
wedges. I
wedges.
didn't ask them to do it, but I'm not going to tell them not to do it because what the hell? Why not?
Let's be honest, Matty's a big deal.
Such a big deal. And then when I play with them, I can report back on this lovely live session, and we can ask, and we can all learn from each other. But no.
Tom, who I play with on the weekends at my club, Tom's always like, "Yeah, why do you keep changing your driver shaft?" He's like, "That 10C 1K you hit so good. When you play with that thing, it's so good." And he was right, because I think 2 rounds ago or 3 rounds ago I used the brand new Acra RPG.
Right.
But it just came in and I was curious. Then Aldila sent me some Synergy Blues. Wanted to see what I thought of it. Quite liked it. And then yesterday I put in the 1K and hit it way better than I've been hitting it in weeks.
Yeah.
But I don't regret trying the other ones, because at least I've got some feedback now. When somebody comes through the door and I go, "That RPG is a beast." If somebody gets into that, it's really good. Yeah. Somebody comes in and goes, "Yeah, I used to use a Diamana Blue board. Always loved that profile. I know the Aldila Synergy Blue is a great feel, because I know that they feel very similar." So
that makes sense.
We need in our line of work to have some examples and some user experience.
Totally. And plus, I think you do enjoy tinkering with stuff. It's part of your enjoyment of the game is to mess around with it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Quick one here. Quick hockey-related question. Center Cut Golf wants to know Golden Knights or Canadians? And hello from Texas. Hello, Texas. I'm going to cheer for the Canadians because I don't have any. I grew up in Toronto. I'm not one of these people that hates Montreal. I don't hate Montreal. I hope Montreal wins, but I will say this: the Golden Knights, at any time over the last couple of years, could have won a cup, and they might do it this time.
Yep.
And I think it would be cool to see an expansion team win. But I will hope that the Canadians win because, I mean, there's not much Canadian patriotism going on lately, so I'll let that be the one thing that I'm cheering for. That's Canadian. Why not?
That's a good call.
Why not?
Good call.
We wish them luck.
Guys, I'd love to know, following the final of the bracket, if and just obviously it's not our intention to tell you, the bracket winner driver is the one you all have to go out there and try, but inevitably that's going to happen.
Of course.
Has anyone went out and tried the Mizuno driver and had great results? Has the STZ been on your demo list, and have you been out and tried it and went, "Wow, that's way better than what I was using before"? I'd love to hear what people's experiences have been.
I wonder how many Mizuno demo days there are. Like, I'll give you an example. I don't think my club has one scheduled. And the club I do some work for marketing, I don't think they have a Mizuno day scheduled either. Yeah. So but I wonder if people have access to it. But yeah, that's a great question. I would love to know, because the money saving is a crazy thing. And plus, like, I think Mizuno will always be that aspirational brand that people want to play a Mizuno.
Definitely.
And even if the irons don't end up fitting you, then maybe you can just play the driver, and it's a good club, obviously. Yeah. It's obviously quite good.
You guys may remember from some of the stuff we've done with Mizuno. Mizuno Chris, Big Chris, who's our rep, not Chris Vachel, Chris Caldwell, who's our rep. He texted me last night, and he's just getting round now because obviously restrictions are lifting to doing his demo days. So he was somewhere up north doing a demo day, and he messaged me to basically say, he's like, "Holy crap, this 3-wood is unbelievable."
Oh, that 3-wood's the best.
He said he absolutely loves it. He's like, it's so good. And he said it flies high and far.
I'm enjoying
He
mine
actually
so
says
much.
those F1X shafts that are in them as standard as well, those F1 Motori shafts.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He said he's like in the driver and fairway. And those are two really good shafts.
I was going to say, that's a hell of a deal, no?
Yeah.
Having that on the stock list?
As the stock list, yeah.
They're up there behind you still, no?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think
Really,
that's one of
really
the better
good.
deals. I love that 3-wood. I've hit some good shots with that already this year. All right. Jens is coming in next Saturday for a refit of the 921 Pros. That's irons, 5-iron, 4-iron. Struggle with it and have a little confidence to reuse it on the course. Okay, so this is a good question. So if someone has a 4 and a 5-iron that they probably don't have the most luck with, they're going to come in for a fit to just figure out what the hell they should do. What do you expect this person to end up with? Like, what direction do you think you go? Do you look at different heads? Do you look at, like, do you go to a hybrid instead? Probably.
You could, if it's the shallow player that struggles to, or shallow or slightly slower, who struggles to create the elevation required to really get anything out it. So 6, 4, 5, and 4 irons kind of all really sit on top of one another.
Yes.
We're going to have to then stretch into hybrids, like you say, Matty, maybe lighten the shafts up a little bit, lengthen the shaft a little bit, play to their strengths, find out what clubs they really enjoy in their bag, if they're more of a wood player, less of an iron player, that type of thing. So, that's the beauty of the demo matrix being as extensive as it is, that we can pivot many different ways during that fit.
A million different options.
We may want to use different shafts in those 4 and 5 irons than the 6 through to wedge.
That's a good idea.
In order to get them to play slightly different, you might be struggling to create enough additional speed.
I think I need to do that in my 4-iron too. Speaking of,
I
can't hit my damn 4-iron in the air at all.
Yeah,
Although I need to work on my swing, so there's that too.
That little 3-iron, that utility. So I've been using actually the Strixon irons.
Nice.
The ZX7s with those 125 MMTs, and the 3-iron has the 105 X-Flex in it.
Oh, okay.
And by far it's been my best club this year. That little utility iron. Yep.
Interesting.
Whether I need to hit it high, hit it low, it's really
Something
good.
to that, isn't there? A little bit easier to swing, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
Quickly here, a couple people asked. Tyler is saying, where can I book a virtual fit? It's using the email, right? Virtual at txg.ca.
Virtual@txg.ca.
I'm going to type it in here. Right?
Yeah.
I'm typing it in the comment right now for everyone. Virtual at txg.ca, and you will get a response from Dean.
There we go.
Dean will respond to you.
Sebastian has heard that Matty is getting a sponsorship from Titleist, or is this fake news? No, it's true. It's true. He signed a big money deal, actually 7 figures.
I'm leaving also, just so you know.
Leaving
I'm
also,
moving to, I don't know,
Carlsbad.
Hawaii. Oh, sure.
There
wherever.
too.
Somewhere that isn't here.
Between Boston and Carlsbad.
Yes.
Between the ball plant and Oceanside.
Somewhere.
Yeah. You've just grown to love the brand, and you just love the performance of the club. And
the way I play golf in the mid to high 70s is so influential that Titleist just wanted to pay me to go out there and slash them around. That's what's happening. No.
Matty boy will still be here with us on a Monday, filming away.
And I may get different irons this year.
You might get different irons.
Crazy.
Yes.
Because I'm going to get Vokeys, and I'm going to keep that driver, and I might get Mizuno irons. I don't know.
And by the time all's said and done, and you've got a Titleist driver, you've got a Mizuno 3-wood, you've got maybe another 5-wood or even a 7-wood, and then
I want a 7-wood.
we go into the irons, and you'll have hardly any Titleist clubs by that point.
I know. Titleist will be emailing me saying, "Hey, why did we bother giving you those wedges?
Why?
How could you turn your back on us like this?"
Is there something we've done?
It's nothing you've done. I promise. Is it me? Is it you?
I was going to say it's you, not
It's
me.
not you, not me. Did we get this already from Lucas? Lucas is saying, Lucas is on the shorter side. He's got an injury. Would you recommend an R-Flex 43-inch driver? He had a fitting, and someone suggested that to him. Good question.
You could, Lucas. You absolutely could. Yeah, definitely you could.
Is there a general rule with
Height to
person's
length?
height? Yeah, somewhat. I mean, does it have to get into is this the correct range, what Lucas is saying?
I think you're right in the range there, Lucas. Okay. 43 and a half, something right in that sort of category, without compromising the lie angles and things like that, the overall weight, the swing weight, all those sorts of things, Lucas. I would try and seek out somebody who's a pretty knowledgeable fitter, maybe phone in advance and just say like, this is who I am as a golfer. This is, I'm 5 foot, I have an injury, my swing speed is about this. and just go, do you have something for me to try there? And hopefully they've got different lengths of shafts that you can try, and it might be, you might want to try standard length, you might want to try shorter, and then obviously weigh up the pros and cons.
I think that's a great idea. Absolutely. Whisker Rub just identified my 7 figures.
Yeah,
that was zeros.
That was
all zeros.
That was the sign-in fee. Zero.
He knows us too well. Maybe a quick little chat on this, eh?
Yes.
So, we're not unaware of this, just so I know tons of you have been really supportive. You've joined the membership, especially the silver tier. Like, believe me, we're aware it's not been what we wanted it to be. There's a million reasons. I take a lot of responsibility. I've had a rough time, let's be honest, myself. Just been tough to do really anything, and I'm glad we're back kind of doing our videos. It's not that we've forgotten about it, so don't think we have. We definitely want to revisit it. We want to chat with you guys about what to do. So
that's a good idea to chat with the group.
Maybe we can do an open sort of forum with all the members.
I'd like to do that.
So if you're watching this, we apologize for being a little absent on that. It's totally on us, and we have not forgotten about it. It's just the circumstances have unfortunately been a bit crap in many ways, not to mention the world is a bit crap. So we'll definitely want to get back into that, and kind of maybe we just do a live session with the members and say, like, what do you guys want features wise, and we'll just revamp it. I think there's certain things we wanted to do that just maybe aren't realistic. I think the comment features that I wanted to be in the comments, I can't do that stuff. I know you can't either. It's just not manageable. So take this as we're sorry, we are going to do better, and we'll chat about it.
Well, and we have invested in the team. We've grown the team. Ryan's joined the team. We now have Patrick, who it is a big deal. Into this type of thing, because part of what I'd love, to get Ryan involved in is some of these member specific chats.
It's a great idea.
Because he's brilliant at that stuff. He really hosts it on his Instagram, but one of those a week, I'd certainly like him to do one of the member chats.
Great idea.
And then, you and I obviously, we'll do it, when we can as well.
Definitely.
Patrick and even Dean, making Dean available maybe, for an hour once every few weeks to talk about Virtual Fit.
That's a great idea.
We could have an open forum where you come in and ask your questions. Not like, I have this driver, I have this, like more about like, what is a Virtual Fit? Why would a Virtual Fit work for me? How do I approach a Virtual Fit in order to set myself up for success with the Virtual Fit? Like those types of things.
I agree with that.
That'd be good, good to do.
So it's on our minds.
Yes.
And thank you for your patience. Thank you for bearing with us. And honestly, if you've got it right now and you're not seeing the value in it, honestly, put it on hold. Don't feel you need to continue it. And you're not going to hurt our feelings.
We'll keep chatting about obviously how we are going to revamp it, and we are. We're going to reinvent it, revamp it,
definitely,
and make it better than it's ever been.
Definitely, I think that's why this whole thing works. We're trying to evolve with you guys and with your suggestions, so we will continue to do so.
Yes. Dave Fogel, no, the bronze will not be included. You are being...
No. Well, the bronze will be included, just not you.
It will be. Yeah. Just you, not you, Dave. You're
absolutely. Everyone. Bronze through gold and platinum.
Kelly's saying, the new Yeti is fantastic.
Good.
Big improvement and an improved experience.
Well, and listen, Kelly, you've made my day. You've made our day. Yeti, for your pleasure. From Mustafa. He uses an R9 driver, averages around 250, occasionally 270. Considering this is a pretty old driver, fair enough. What sort of benefits do you think he would see from something in the last few years? Whether that be maybe last year's sim, or what was the year before sim?
M5
M5 and M6.
M5 and 6. Yep.
What do you think? What's the best deal if you were going to go from an R9? What would you do?
Well, that for some people, Mustafa, that R9 was a cheeky little one. It came with a really good the stock shaft performed better than even we thought it would. It was a little Motori 65. It was pretty stiff. It was kind of like an F1 Motori style shaft. It was pretty tip stiff, and actually worked really, really quite well for some people. That head was small, compact, but deep. So it kind of gave you fairly low spin as well. So again, for some people that was a really good driver. But the change in shape of driver has entirely changed. So if you look at what they've done with sim, more aerodynamic, you'll gain some speed. Where weight is placed, the MOI is higher. The CG is deeper and lower, higher launch, lower spin. Like All those little incremental improvements are all little pluses, and if you compound any of those performance benefits, you're probably going to add to 10, 15 yards without changing any part of your swing.
Yeah.
So there's definitely good improvements to be had.
Definitely. What do you think you could get like a used M6 for right now? Like $250?
Yeah, 150 to 200 for an M6 style. Yeah. Like even a used Sim you could probably get for 250-ish, some 253.
Like good deals to be had, right?
Definitely.
Love it.
Dave, Fogel, we're just joking.
Dave, we love you.
We love you, really.
Dearly.
We only pick on you because we love you, really.
And it's funny.
Aye.
Lucas would love to see Montreal in the Stanley Cup final, and then he would love to see them lose admirably to Tampa. Fair enough, Lucas. I'm assuming you are a Tampa area lad, and fair enough. Tampa is a fine team. Fine team. This is something I've never heard someone ask, ever. Brett is asking, can lead tape be placed correctly to influence face angle?
No. Not enough weight to contribute enough to the face angle.
And we're talking dynamically, obviously, but yeah. So because I play with a few people that have they'll have it on the heel side or the toe side. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a nice idea, but it's not going to be enough, right?
Well, if we'd say we put a strip of lead tape on there, hoping that it reduces the face rotation by putting it on the toe, and that lead tape a strip of it weighs about 2.5 grams. We're talking about 1% of the head weight.
So no, it's not enough. Not enough.
No, that's not going to be enough.
Fair enough. Good question.
No, you need to be sort of probably upwards in the 25 to 30 gram range, probably to make a significant displacement to the rotation. Significant. Now, we can affect things like gear effect by moving the CG subtly around it. We've seen that many times.
Yeah, that's true.
Moving the weight into the heel to slightly increase rotation, but also meaning that a center toe strike gears inward a little bit.
Right.
Those little things can all add up, but
not on its own, right? Yeah. Not something to do on its own.
Yeah, no.
The Mizuno G driver, the new one. We'll get one of those. Eh? You can do some testing with those.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That'll be probably coming probably in the fall.
Okay. Yep. We will do that. We will. If it's not PXG, you can assume we'll test it because everyone else sends us stuff. They're the only ones that won't. I would say, guys, if you're sending questions or even super chats, probably cap them off.
Good time to.
We're getting a little bit bogged down. We just want to make sure we get everyone's question, and we will.
Dave's saying, did you see the deal on the 0211 PXG driver? I did see it. Best deal in the market.
Is it like $200 now?
It's like $225 or something.
What are they doing?
Honestly though,
so weird.
For some people, I mean, even a cheap driver can be a waste of money. So a good deal,
totally.
A good deal is only a good deal if it fits you, and it works really well. That's a great point. Who wants to waste $225 or whatever it is? So if it doesn't fit you, I mean, there's no adjustability to that driver from a weighting perspective. Sure, you can move the sleeve around. I believe it's a pretty decent driver. I mean, for this new wave of golfers that are coming to back into golf, I think getting into one of them is probably a great place to put $225.
Fair.
If you can't go get fit and things like that. But I still think you're leaving yourself open to wasting your money.
Well, you can't assume that $200 is like, I'm getting a $700 deal. It's gonna be perfect for me. It doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah. But I do find it fascinating the pivot they've made on price. I do find that fascinating.
I was talking to Tyler about that today because Tyler's been a PXG forever. And we're just chatting about it's very interesting how where they were even 4 years ago to what's going on now. It's like the perception is just completely changed.
I know. I mean, I've heard certain things like the materials that they were using to make the original the Gen 1 0311 irons. The sourcing of those materials was very expensive for them. They had to ramp it up. So now they pay significantly less. So they're passing on cost savings. There's probably a portion of it that was market placement. We're premium. We're not.
Right, and that's like now everyone's
from a price not from a manufacturing tolerance standpoint, but from a price perspective. So it's like you can't have us. Here we are.
It's all like all of a sudden you can buy a Mercedes for like $10,000.
Correct.
People are like, oh yeah, I'll have a Mercedes for $10,000. Sure.
Exactly. Yeah, like Tesla's probably done that with kind of Model 3.
Yes.
Model 3 coming out after Model S. It's like, wow, that Tesla sounds like a great car. Electric sounds great. Well, here's one you can afford.
It's very true. I'm sure someone with a brain came up with it. That is for damn sure. From Brandon, driver angle of attack is slightly down, -1. He's got a static loft of 12. Okay, mistake on my part, fell into not. Okay, so he's got not much dynamic loft, and he's hitting down on it. Trackman says to lower spin height, lower loft, higher angle of attack. Okay, well, let's start with one thing at a time. He's hitting down on it a bit.
Yep.
And static
loft is 12.
Not dynamic
Yep.
loft. So static loft is 12.
Yeah. So
Trackman is saying he needs to lower the spin and height.
Yeah, lower loft.
So lower loft and hitting up on it, both, right?
Yeah,
both
Brandon. I mean, obviously, if you can change your angle of attack, so in the fit, if we see somebody's getting a little bit steep on it, a little choppy on it, we'll discuss it with them. We'll go, if we move that ball position forward, if we get your spine angle tilted away from the target slightly, often aiming a little more to the right, it helps with that as well. Is that something you can repeat? And then we'll test it with them. And if they just go, nah, I hate being at that position, I don't really feel like I can make good contact, we'll go, okay, let's go back to where you were, and then we'll work around where you are. But for the longevity of improvement, we would rather you made those little subtle adjustments to your setup. And I would say 8 out of 10 people can do it, no problem.
Yeah, true enough.
No problem at all.
Bit of an awareness thing, right? They've never been shown to do that.
Yeah. They didn't understand it. They didn't have a measuring device that showed them where they were at. So, that's not something they were aware of. So once we make those adjustments, bring the static loft down, so that the upward angle of attack creates the launch, the lower spin loft produces more ball speed, less spin. All of a sudden, you've got a significantly improved ball flight. The slight aiming to the right will change the path. The face will start to rotate ever so slightly. The club head speed increases. Everything goes
Just
better.
like Christmas. Like Christmas morning, everything happens at once.
Yeah.
This is quickly, just talking openly about this. Maybe talk to Barath about maybe doing a little kind of AMA style thing in the Discord server for the all the members, obviously.
Absolutely.
Guys, if that's something you think would be interesting to do, let us know. I think that's something we've talked about before, and I think Ryan would love to do that. As far as I can tell.
He's great at it.
Yeah,
great at it, and
so
he
great
would
suggestion.
love to do it. Yep. I mean, you know, for those of you who follow Ryan on Instagram, his handle is RDS Brath. He probably hosts 3 or 4 live Q&As through the week, and obviously, you know, he has a large following on Instagram, so to get everyone to get their question answered maybe tough from time to time. I know he tries really hard, but in the Discord platform, he'll get to basically most of your questions.
Yeah, because it's the member platform and it's a smaller sample size.
Definitely.
And, good suggestion. Good suggestion.
Chris is saying, Matty boy, time for a haircut. He knows.
It's still illegal to get a haircut here. I know
It's
that
still-
may sound
it's still
insane to you
illegal, I
people
know.
that are watching this. You may be looking at me going, you must be crazy. But no, you cannot get a haircut here unless you know someone, which I don't. But yeah, I'm going to get a haircut when it's possible to get a haircut. I've been trimming the sides myself just so I don't look completely homeless, and my fiance cleaned the back up a bit this morning.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It is what it is. I wear a hat and then I take it off and it looks like this.
You've got a good head of hair, Matty boy.
Listen,
So
I
even
can't
when
complain.
you take the
I can't
hat
complain.
off, it's still in
It's not the worst looking thing, right?
good shape.
We're getting by. We're getting by. Taylor is asking, David first. David is asking about he has the 2019 Apex Pro irons. Okay, he got them fit great on mats. When he takes them on the golf course, he seems to be hitting them thin. Interesting. Bit of a psychological thing. People tend to not want to smash the turf and maybe hit it fat on the
picking
course.
it a little bit, David. Yeah, no, it's an interesting point. I just always default back to, you know, when you buy something from someone, you know, making sure that you can go back. Like if one of my customers told me that, I'd be like, okay, let's get you back in. Let's arrange to get outside together. Let's go to one of the options we have for the outdoor facilities. Let's see what's going on. With your delivery, David, it's going to be very obvious what the problem is. Is your angle of attack too shallow, so low point is too close to the ball? You're striking it too thin on the blade because you've not got the club moving down enough. You're not getting the shaft angle forward enough. Those types of things, are going to be helpful.
You've said something to me many times that is, at times you can get on the golf course and you're not aware of it, but your delivery, like you're saying, does slightly change.
Changes,
and until someone plunks a quad down beside you on like the second hole fairway, you might not know about it.
Absolutely.
So it might be an awareness thing like that. Maybe wherever you got them fit, as you said, hopefully they take care of people the way that you do, and then you can revisit it.
Exactly.
That's the best case scenario.
I think so. That would be, our solution, and I think most places would probably offer something similar.
Demand it.
Certainly, David. Certainly demand a relook, even though it's they're. At this point, you've got Apex 19s. You may have, or Pros, sorry, Apex Great Irons. You may have. It might be a couple of years since you've seen your fitter, but again, I don't think they'd be unreasonable to your request to come in and maybe spend 30 minutes and can just tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
Am I adding too much dynamic loft? Is the shaft angle too far back? Am I not transferring my weight into my lead side enough? Like, it's all in there. All the answers are in the launch monitor measurements.
Totally. If he wants to retain you as a long-term customer,
Exactly.
I'm sure he'll look after you.
Exactly.
Taylor's got a good quick question. Taylor wants to know what you think the lowest spinning fairway wood is from the last, let's say, 2 or 3 years. Lowest spinning fairway wood. I have one in mind that I think you're going to say.
I mean, ultimately, I think it comes down to loft. So,
that's fair. Yeah, that's true.
I think right now the TaylorMade sleeve has the most adjustable sleeve. So, like, my 3-wood currently is 12 degrees of loft.
Crazy.
I don't know many other 3-woods that spin lower than that one because of the loft.
Yeah, what could, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it spins in the kind of low 2000s on purpose because that's what I want it to do. But
generally, TaylorMade seems to have, like, I remember when the first sim came out and we hit some, we were like, those are driver numbers, those are driver numbers. Like, they were always, 13 launch, 2600.
Definitely.
So that's probably a pretty good choice.
Yeah, and the rocket option as well, 13.5. So you can turn that down to 11.5. That's going to be as low spin as any other low spin products from a CG perspective. There's obviously like LST, Ping, G425 LST, 3-woods that can be turned down as well. But I would probably say this sim.
Yeah, I think that's a fair remark. Grab one there, lad, if you see something you like.
Well, I saw a few questions, people looking for an update on the contest, the Pinehurst contest. Of course. I mean, I'm more hopeful today and this week than ever before. We've heard some early murmurings about, once you're double vaccinated, quarantines being 14-day quarantines being lifted. That was our biggest worry. Borders being opened if you have double vax. Things like that. So and by that time, you and I certainly will be double vaxxed by.
We should be.
By that September
are we thinking?
time.
Are we thinking about September?
We're thinking late September.
Because worst case scenario, I already have an appointment for September, but they're moving them up. So you and I should be able to.
We'll be August probably.
Should be able to get in August.
So we'll be fine. So finalising things with Pinehurst. Everything else around the trip is finalised. Once obviously we kind of we'll pick a date once we've finalised it with Pinehurst. That'll be good for us, good for them.
Yeah.
Then accommodations and stuff like that. We'll get it announced because we want people to have time for their own travel. Of
course. Arrangements.
So
good. It's still on my. Yeah, no, you're right. I think until this week, it's been kind of tough to discuss it because we're like, well, I don't know if I can leave this country.
Exactly.
I don't know if I can come home. So it is moving, although. Can't say I'm satisfied with where it's moving, but it is moving to the point where these two lads can leave and come home without too much of a nightmare.
Exactly.
Brian's asking about a driver fitting. So Brian used to have an M3 from TaylorMade with a hazardous black 6.0. He recently got fitted for a TSI 3 with the AV white in 75 grams. Okay, so he went up in weight quite a bit. It feels a little whippy. Interesting. At his swing speed of 108 on TrackMan. So what he's asking is, do you think 65X versus instead of 75S would be a better choice for him in that TSI?
Brian, when we're talking about a 65 gram shaft, what we've got to remember is that 65 gram shaft is at its full length. So when you cut it to 3-wood length, you are reducing the length of that shaft by about 4.5 inches.
This is a driver, sorry, I think.
Oh, it's a driver.
As far as I can tell.
Okay, so
I think it's a driver. I could be wrong. Do you think it's a driver? He hasn't said.
Probably is. It
just
probably
based
is.
on this.
Yeah,
view,
it probably
that's
is.
all.
Got fitted for TSI with 75. Oh yeah, sorry. I would say yes. You are probably better to go with 65X. Yeah, 108 TrackMan, probably 111 quad. 75 grams stiff, and if it feels a bit whippy, that would be my move to go to 65X for you. Yeah, definitely hazardous.
That was his original driver.
Yeah. Yes,
Good.
definitely, Brian. Yeah, I think that would be ideal.
Sweet. Should be able to swap that out fairly easily, being it's a stock offering.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take one more if you're choosing, lad. Whatever
One
you
more
like.
we're choosing.
Or some closing thoughts, whatever you like. Or both.
Let's see.
It's a quick one here, actually, that I think I know you have the answer to. Brandon's asking, is it common to be much steeper indoors than on grass? So you indoors, you might be 5 down. You get outside.
I wouldn't say common, Brandon. No, I would say maybe the opposite, because some people are very wary
That's what I
of.
thought.
They're kind of hitting the ground and jarring wrists and elbows and joints, keeping the health in good shape. So no.
But it is not impossible, Brandon. Definitely not impossible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember when I started playing golf, I was so afraid of chunking a shot because it's so embarrassing, to chunk a shot and your 7-iron goes 4 feet in front of you. So I can see that.
Yeah, I would say I'm probably in that camp. Actually, I think I'm steeper indoors than outdoors, because I think I have better management of my delivery indoors than I do outdoors. I think my default to tilt back and shallow a little bit, outdoors is my default. Although I'd rather be a little bit steeper. So
that's totally
I think I'll probably do that.
Fair enough, Brandon. You're not alone. You are not alone.
Okay, Mel's asking, Matthew, have you talked Vosh into getting a 5-wood and 7-wood for
text him
lefties soon?
I would love, if this is the thing, I would love that 3-wood in a 7-wood. If Mizuno would make one, I would play that in a heartbeat. It's such a nice shape, friendly looking.
Vosh,
he's a nice guy.
We have a great relationship with Vosh. He likes us. We love him. No doubt about it.
Apparently, we rigged the bracket according to a few comments.
Oh, yeah,
it's all rigged.
I did see that.
And we're a sham.
Do you know what the beauty of that was, though? I did love when when one or two people that kind of do come out with that sort of stuff. It's just like the common sense of the community goes,
really?
Well, why did Mizuno not win every other bracket?
Exactly.
Why did the guys make such a point of saying that this driver is not for everyone?
Yes.
Like, if it was rigged, there would be a narrative to, you've got to rush to the stores. Everybody needs an STZ.
Yes.
All that sort of stuff. There's never any of that. It's just a test.
It's just the way the cookie crumbles. And by the way, it's just nice that Vosh is so accessible to us.
Yeah.
It's good. We're glad that happened, because I don't know if you're going to get a tailor-made engineer to get on the horn with you after. And Ryan Barath did the interview with him. People loved that.
It was great. It was a really good interview, and they segued off into other parts of Mizuno
Definitely.
lineage and different design features of Mizuno golf clubs, and the feedback through it was fantastic. I think you'll see the appetite for us to do more of that stuff really increase now because of the feedback on it. So
I agree.
It was good. Have to do a shameless plug for Ryan and Mike's new podcast.
Yes, I saw some little posts about that.
Yep, the Build Shop.
The Build Shop. Doing
a great job with that. So you'll find that. So just on Apple
it's everywhere,
podcast and
everywhere.
Spotify,
Yep.
and you'll find it, links to it on Instagram and all that sort of stuff. So the boys will have different topics. They'll have different guests. They had Rebecca Lee Bentham, our ambassador, who just fresh off playing the US Women's Open at Olympic.
That's right.
Was on there. They'll have either, I think, Matt Fitzpatrick.
I saw some emails that is getting booked.
Yeah, he's going to be on later this year. So
with Bettinardi, the Bettinardi partnership and stuff.
Loads and loads of good stuff.
Yes, give that a listen. 100%.
Definitely.
Sweet.
Definitely.
Next week.
So next week we won't be here. We'll be here Monday because I'm in hospital on Monday.
Nothing's wrong with him.
Nothing.
His wife's having a baby.
Yeah,
you're having a baby.
Baby number 2 on Monday, which is great.
What's going on? Am I coming in to do one with Mikey? What's Mikey busy?
I think ideally. I think so. Mikey is working Monday to Friday schedule right now, so he's definitely available. So Monday schedule for you.
Maybe you'll see Mikey.
And Michael.
I'll see what Ryan's up to. Also, maybe he wants to come in. Patty, you going to be here Monday?
Big Paddy the Caddy will be around.
People will be here Monday. You won't be, but everyone else will be.
What time's the Scotland game on Monday? 9?
Oh boy.
Oh jeez.
That's okay. We can accommodate that. I could use
Paddy
a sometimes.
19-year-old Paddy, right, has never seen Scotland play in a major football championship. The last time Scotland were in one, I was 14. I was thinking this morning.
Jeez.
98. I was 14, turning 15 that summer. So I know exactly how you feel. Buzzing.
It's great.
He says he's buzzing.
He's buzzing.
Yeah.
Well, we will be here. So worst case scenario, I will tell you, Mikey and I will do a live Q&A just like this.
Yeah.
And if we can come up with a couple ideas for a video over the weekend, maybe we'll film a video or two.
That
What
would
do you
be
think
awesome.
about that action?
That would be awesome. I
then-
think it'd be a no-brainer.
And we'll see you the week after, you think? Or are you going to be off for a bit?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
rush.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be back in that following Monday and kind of, still keep the Mondays going and obviously spend as much time. It's very, I think with Noah, we got a chance to spend so much time because we were in lockdown
course,
when
that's
we
right.
had Noah the first time around. So being with him for those first few months is the reason he and I have the bond we
Such a
have right
bond.
now.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, exciting stuff. But you will see some TXG stuff next week. So don't
Yes.
worry. Don't worry.
Good stuff.
All right.
Stuff. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. Normally say have a good week,
Yes,
but it's have a good weekend.
Play some golf.
If you have no, skin in the game, if you have no team that you're following for the Euros, adopt Scotland as your team to follow. Just
It
as
would be nice
many
of you.
people. We got to
Hey,
win
I'll do
someone.
it, Patty. I'll
Paddy?
do it. Sure.
Paddy's in. I'm in. TXG team are in.
I
Apart
must
from
be.
Cammy. Cammy's in here in his Holland top today.
Is he? Oh, that's right. He's wearing orange.
he's fire.
Is he actually Dutch?
Yeah, his family's Dutch and Scottish heritage.
So he's conflicted, is he?
Aye. But I think he's picked the right pony in the
Well,
race.
he does know who his boss is, so he's not a dummy. He's not going to make a career-limiting move. All right. Well, thanks
Okay.
for joining us, guys. This was fun.
Have a good weekend.
See you next week.
Cheers.